Now, as humans, we often forget one very important thing about this planet, that it is a shared commodity. We are not the sole owners of planet Earth. We share it with millions of animals and plants. But most people are not big on sharing. We have cut down forests and encroached into the animal kingdom. And guess what the result is? Human animal conflicts. It's a major problem here in India. We have all seen videos of elephants or cheetahs entering villages and towns. But have you wondered what happens to these animals? Some of them are released back into the wild, but many of them end up being killed. In fact, I have some data for you. From 2018 to 2021, more than 260 elephants died unnatural deaths. 222 of them died of electrocution. 45 were hit by trains. 29 were killed by poachers and 11 were poisoned. In the same period, 29 tigers were also killed by poachers, and 197 tiger deaths are currently under scrutiny. Do you know why these killings are happening? Because humans are encroaching into the animal kingdom. When animals roam around in search of water or food, they stumble into human settlements. Now, naturally, villagers are not equipped to handle such a situation. Neither does the Wildlife Department have enough officers to prevent such conflicts. The Parliamentary Committee on Environment did weigh in on the issue. It asked the government to create an advisory body to tackle the growing cases of human-animal conflicts. And we are talking about it simply because there is a leopard on the loose in Jorhat, which is a town in Assam. That leopard has mauled at least 15 people. In Uttarakhand, there's a tiger on the loose in the Corbett National Park, which has killed one person. In fact, as far as the parliamentary panel is concerned, similar requests have been made by wildlife experts as well. But the government's response leaves, well, much to be desired. Let me quickly go across to Arjun Gopalaswamy, who is joining us on the broadcast. Sir, thank you very much for joining us here on Mirror Now. Can I ask you why we are seeing an increase in human-animal conflict? And I ask you these questions because of what has happened not just in the state of Assam with leopards and with elephants, but also what is happening in Uttarakhand.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shreya, for having me on. Well, I think this subject itself is a topic of worldwide interest, not restricted to India. We often hear of more number of cases in India because we have a lot of everything, people, animals, and also cases of conflict. And one thing to remember here is it's extremely important to go into the details. You know, the 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 details covers everything that we need. So we need to first ask the question, what species are we talking about? So the nature of a human elephant conflict or a human leopard conflict or a human tiger conflict, they subscribe to completely different ecologies. So I would say the basis of all this lies in the ecology of the animals being considered. So when we do take the case of leopards, often we hear of this argument that human incursions, due to increase in human incursions and no space left for leopards, they are coming into conflict with humans. Actually, the reality is we need to ask the question, why are leopards coming into human habitations? And we are seeing quite a few cases. One thing to keep in mind is there has also been an increase in reports of human wildlife conflicts over the last 20 years with the advent of cell phones and easy access to information. Anyone now is a reporter who reports these, and these travel quite quickly. So, uh, when we ask this question, we need to understand the ecology of the leopards to begin with. And quite often, they're coming for some resource, and the resource typically would be food. And what is the food? One might think, all right, it's a wild animal. It should stay in the forest. Why is it coming in here? It is true. It is a wild animal, but we should also keep in mind that it's an animal. It's a cat of the size between 40 to 70 kilos, and it can, if it has good stealth, which it does, can consume domestic animals. There's no rules to say it has to only consume wild animals. So actually, when filth increases and there are a lot of rodents, there are also a lot of free-ranging, say, domestic dogs or cattle or goats, sheep, chicken. Actually, it can serve as a perfectly viable diet for leopards. So this is where the many of these conflicts come in when it comes from the wildlife side of things. Now, when we talk about these interactions, humans coming in close contact with wild animals, and anytime that happens, irrespective of the situation, it's always a risky affair. This is actually when you come physically close, that's like within 30 meters, 40 meters, you do not know what happens because that's how it is. And by maintaining a fair distance in any endeavor, these cases of deaths obviously will be reduced because you will hardly find a situation where a wild animal is going after somebody actively. It just happens by chance. They come into close contact, and we do not know what animals are thinking at that moment. What's the instinctual reaction? It's very, very local and specific, and these incidences come from that. Take
Okay.
elephants, for example. Take elephants, for
Okay.
example. Again, it's to do with a lot of science is increasingly showing that uh, when their migratory paths involve a matrix of habitat, that also involves a lot of crop fields. They do graze in crop fields, and they do raid crops, and this is a reality. So, unfortunately or fortunately, each wildlife conflict situation is so local in context, and actually, where we do see successes in some solutions, they are also very local when science is quite integrated into the solution at every situation.
Okay. 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 Arjun Gopalaswamy, it was good to get your views on the pictures that we are seeing on our screens. It's a video that has now gone viral. Important to understand where this human-animal conflict is coming from and where it is going, very importantly. We leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much.